Hey, good evening. We are live finally. I hope we can successfully have this class now. Okay, so let's go. It is parenting with understanding, moving away from assumption to awareness. All the labeling we do, like we are always labeling our children. And you don't want thing about the labeling. When you have labeled your child, everything, how you are going to handle that child will be dependent on that labeling. It's like you're not feeling well, you go to the hospital and the doctor says, oh, you have malaria. What are they going to do? They are going to treat you. They are going to treat malaria. Now, even if you don't have malaria, they are going to be treating malaria. Now, it is why most of the time we don't get results. We don't see changes because the labeling is wrong. Once the diagnosis is wrong, you are being treated for malaria when you don't have malaria. What is going to happen? So it is wherefore we nag, we yell, we threaten. At the end of the day, the thing that is making us nag, yell, and threaten doesn't go away. Because first of all, we are labeling. So today's class is, the goal of today's class is to help you understand your child and drop the labeling. And it is what we are doing in the Visionary Parents Academy. Our challenge for this month is understanding our children. If you're in the academy, you will know that we started already. We had our first challenge already. The first challenge was about understanding the developmental phase of your child. You have to know the developmental phase of your child, the physical growth, and all of that of your child. It was what we focused on today. So yes, if you're not in the academy, like I said, it's okay. If you're in the academy, you are taking the challenge every day from now to the end of the month. You take one aspect of your child's. Generally, one aspect you can take, the way how they learn, how they love, their passion, their capacity, their strength, their triggers. You just look at one area or the other. At the end of the day, you are going to be able to understand your child so that you drop the labeling. If you are not in the Visionary Parents Academy, it's fine. You can also just watch this master class. Follow us. We come here every Wednesday. It's supposed to be 12 noon, but network didn't allow us proceed today. We came here, but network didn't allow us go on. So you can just join our class every Wednesday, 12 noon, and learn. Whatever you learn, you take action. You are going to be able to understand your child, because the truth of the matter is, if we don't understand our children, we keep labeling them wrongly. We keep mislabeling them, and what you call them, your perception, the way you see your child, what you have labeled your child, will influence the way you relate to that child, the way you treat that child. It is why you will call your child names. It may not necessarily be that is the issue, but because you have concluded, you have labeled them that issue, you see them through that lens of that labeling. Today, we are going to stop the labeling, stop the assumption, and actually make deliberate effort to understand our children. My name is Edimia Orebo. Welcome to Parenting with Edimia Orebo. Now, this channel is powered by the Visionary Parents Academy. I am the lead coach of the Visionary Parents Academy. The Visionary Parents Academy is an academy where parents register, they get empowered, they get skilled to raise the children they have. They parent with confidence, they raise responsible adults, responsible children who grow into responsible adults. It is a very vibrant community. One of the things we do is that every single month we host challenges. The idea is, as we teach, the challenge is to make you take practical action. It's not just for us to come and teach theoretically and you go. No, we want you, as we are teaching, you are taking action. Like last month, it was all about creating your family system. And I said here several times last month that if you were in the academy, or if you're in the academy, or if you just joined the challenge for last month, by the end of last month, you would have created your own family structure, a practical one that can guide you. Because last month, you had my family structure guide, you have my family structure guide template to create yours. And to this month also, we are looking at understanding our children, moving from assumption to awareness, so that you actually know what you are doing, and you are doing what you are supposed to be doing. Again, my name is Edimia Orebo, and let's go right into it so that this class is not too long. Firstly, why do we even label our children? Because of a lot of factors. We just, when children do something, okay, I've shared this thing over and over again. Maybe I should just share it because I didn't even intend to share it, but let me share it here. There was a time on Facebook I had a little debate with some parents. I said, when your child doesn't want to eat the food you have presented to them, parents think, oh, it is it is your child is not contented, your child doesn't have contentment, that is why your child will not eat the food you have at home or you have to give. So, and I ask parents, you as a parent, if there's a particular food, sometimes after cooking or something, you don't feel like eating the food, is it because you lack contentment? Let's look at it. Many times, because we have labeled the child, you already say, oh, my child, hello, someone, John Manasseh, hello. Because you have labeled your child already, oh, this child lacks contentment, you are going to be dealing with that behavior from the angle of lack of contentment. You are going to call your child greedy. You are even going to yell. You are going to smack. You are going to leave your child to starve because you feel the child lacks contentment. Good evening, ma. Welcome, ma. Now, but if you have an understanding that, okay, it's not really because of contentment. My child is someone who is a picky eater. He's a picky eater because he's not flexible. He's a picky eater because he's a sensitive child. He's not comfortable with some certain things. If you see your child from that angle, then you are going to relate with your child. You are going to handle your child from that angle. For example, if you say, okay, my child doesn't like this particular food because my child is not flexible. So what are you going to do? You are going to now focus on teaching your child flexibility, because flexibility, adaptability, they are major skills your child needs to navigate. Your child needs to thrive the times they are. Your child can go somewhere else, they can go far. I remember still in Nigeria, we still have the NYC. What if your child is serving in one place and something kind of happens, no food, the only food they have there is, so your child needs to be able to be flexible. So you will not say, oh, what my child is struggling with is flexibility. Okay, let's see how we can make it a goal to teach him flexibility or to nurture flexibility in him or her. It will help you. But once you have labeled, oh, my child doesn't have contentment, this greed, this lack of contentment that is making her not want to eat the food you have at home, then, or the food you have prepared, then you are going to start maybe being upset with your child. It is why you need to understand your child and not just label your child. Okay, so now where do we labeling comes from? Now, one of the major issues we have is that we've been programmed to see certain things from our personal experiences, societal expectations, cultural belief, leading to misleading understanding. Yes, there is a way, there is something like social belief. There are things people we just hold firmly, and even when you come down to check it out, you realize that it shouldn't be like that. I'm trying to think of some of those beliefs you hold firmly now, like the belief that, oh, you must hit a child to behave. It's a belief we hold firmly. Some people hold on to it, that no matter what you say, they believe that you must hit a child. They will not sit down to want to review. Some people believe that, oh, children, they are misbehaving. So no matter what you say, they will not come down to want to see, okay, is this actually a misbehavior? Is it a character weakness? Is it a character strength? Let's see what we can do. No. A couple of Sundays ago, I was in church and my son was drawing while the teacher was teaching. And the teacher came to tell me that my son was drawing while he was teaching. I knew where she was going to. This child, nah. He's being disobedient. He's not paying attention and all of that, And coincidentally, I shared it in the Visionary Parents Academy, because one of the things we do, we share voice notes every day, practical experiences, tips, strategies, and a lot we share, because our goal is for parents to get results. That is our goal. We are not just an academy for the sake of it. Our goal is for parents to get results. So anything and everything that will help parents get results, we are in for it. So we share. Personally, I share my daily experiences and all of that, stories that impact anything that will help parents get results. So I shared it, and coincidentally, a parent in the academy, about 2 or so Sundays after that day, Her pastor asked her to go and take the children's department, even though she's not a children's teacher. So the children's teachers were suspended for coming late or something like that. So the pastor asked her to go and take the class. So she said while she was teaching them, a child was drawing. Her first impulse was to go and tell the child to stop drawing or something, that the child was being distracted. Then she remembered how I shared that my son was drawing, and she left the child. Then she asked the child questions like, okay, what have I been teaching? What have you learned? And lo and behold, the child was able to, like what we call download, give her every single thing she's been teaching. So that actually like a confirmation to what I said. Oh, this child was drawing. It didn't mean that this child was not paying attention, Now, a teacher in a school who doesn't have this knowledge, they will ask that child, stop drawing, sit down and listen. And guess what? Children like that, looking at you, they have gone, their brains have traveled to La La Land. So they are not even paying attention. They are not listening to you. They are looking at you. They are not seeing you. So at the end of the day, ask them what you have taught them. They will not be able to produce jack. You'll be frustrated because that thing that would have helped them learn, because they are easily distracted. So instead of them to be making noise, disturbing another child, instead of them to be daydreaming, their distraction, they are channeling it into scribbling, drawing, tapping, or doing one or two things that is not really disturbing the class per se. It's not disturbing the class, but because we are in a kind of place that we just want obedience. Oh, if the child is not looking at you, the child is not making, we just feel the child is not learning. So I'm glad that parent in the Visionary Parents Academy, she was able to take from my lessons to teach her class. And guess what? The child reproduced everything she had taught. And she got the confirmation that, coach, it's true. When she was giving the feedback, I was just smiling. Good evening, ma'am. Welcome so much. Thank you for joining, ma'am. So when she was giving the feedback, I was smiling. Now, this is why parents, we need to understand our children. If you don't understand them, you are going to label them. Imagine this particular child now. If the teacher hasn't gotten that idea that, okay, the child is drawing, doesn't mean the child is not listening. It is even better for the child to draw than for the child to just fold his hands, because the child may fold his. You have those such children in your class. You are teaching them, and after all the things you have poured out, they will not be able to produce one thing. They will not. It is some teachers will tell children, do not write in my class. Don't take notes in my class. I'm like, are you kidding me? You need to understand that there are some people, their strength, their learning strength lies in note taking. If they don't take notes, someone like me, my learning strength lies in note taking. I cannot be learning. Like, I cannot be getting impact. I'm not taking notes. It's not possible. If you see me, I am in a class, I am not taking notes, just know that class, it's just like, I'm just there to fulfill all righteousness. Any class that that is making, any class that I am learning from, you will not see me not have my note and my paper with me. It is one thing in my bag. One of the things that you will almost always find in my bag is a note and a biro, because I'm always open to learning. I can learn anywhere, so I'm always scribbling down. So that is it. We need to understand. We need to begin to break a lot of programming, a lot of things that we have been programmed with. We need to begin to leave them. If we don't leave them, we keep labeling our children and we keep assuming. And you know what it does to your child when you label your child? Okay, let's finish. Societal expectations makes you label your child. And even the society that is expecting from your child, they are even ignorant. Many times parents, so many parents are ignorant. I shared an experience I had with a parent yesterday in the Visionary Parents Academy this morning. So many parents, they are ignorant and they are giving you that standard reading and writing. Yes, it's a learning style. Absolutely. Thank you, ma. They are using that standard to judge you, and you will take that standard and you will run with it. Someone will come and label your child for you. Someone will come and just judge your child. The person that is absolutely ignorant, that has no idea, and you will want to now. That is why I say to parents, see, you need to learn parenting for yourself. get the skills for yourself and parent with confidence, because when you are not confident in your parenting, you are going to just pick everything anyone says. Someone who sees your child behave just one day will just conclude, and then you are now panicking, you are concluding too. The other day, yes, I think 2 days ago, I was teaching my children. We're talking about friendship, using the parenting on your knees. You know, all through last month was about friendship, pray for different aspects of their relationships and all of that. If you don't have parenting on your knees, you need to get it. If you're in the Visionary Parents Academy, you are not in the group for the parenting on your knees, please join it. Every day we drop commentary for the prayer point you are praying. So, and you are also meant to, like, you know, it's not just you praying for your child, you know. I read somewhere that work is prayer. Work is prayer. That is the work you are working. As you are putting in the work, is you telling God, and the Bible says, God will bless the work of your hands. Is you telling God that this is my prayer? You are working. The work you work is your prayer. So so when you put in the work, you are actually praying, indirectly praying. So we are not just praying for our children alone. We also sit down, take every single prayer point. We have it as conversations with them. So if you have that manual, you realize that you have different opportunities to have conversations with your children now. In the mornings before we go out, I have conversations with my children. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. We talk about it. You know, this morning we talked about obedience. And it's something I've talked to them over and over again, over and over. About before, so it was not like a lengthy talk. We just refer to it just like a confirmation, you know. So we are talking about I think friendship or something. We're talking about how to spot good friends, something like that. And I was telling them that, see, it is not in one thing. The fact that when someone does something one time, it doesn't really mean that is who the person is. You don't have to be conclusive about it, you know. You need to watch patterns. You draw your conclusion when you have seen patterns. When it is repeatedly done, you have seen patterns. You can say, okay, this is how this person is. So it is why once you can forgive, but when you forgive, you watch out for similar patterns. So someone, as a parent, someone just comes in today and sees your child, does one thing, and they just label your child, and you take that thing and you run away with it. That was how we went to this place. When we went to this place, that was how this person said. That was how, really? You just say, nah. People don't know your child as much as you know your child. You have known your child all your child's life. So nobody has a right to label your child and then you running away with it. Are you kidding me? Okay, let's move on. Cultural beliefs. Yes, there are so many cultural beliefs that has come to, like, should I say, wow, our mindset. A lot of things that, someone said, why will a child look at you in the eye, but look at you in the eyes? It means the child is rude. Another person said a child taking something from you with the left hand means the child is rude. You know, a lot of cultural belief over time. When we teach our children to be social smart, which means they should learn the social expectations of a particular place they are going into. That is one of the things you teach your children when you teach them transitioning skills. I made a post on Facebook one time and I talked about transitioning skills, especially for parents who are relocating, whether they are relocating within Nigeria or you are relocating out from Nigeria, from one country to another or within a country. It's important to teach your children transitioning skills. And one of the skills you should teach them is social skills. They are going to a new place. They should understand that, hey, culture, as culture from here to there, you are going to meet culture shock. So here is how to respond when you meet culture shock. Here is how to integrate properly. You should teach your child. If you're not following me on Facebook, you should follow me on Facebook. You know, I'm on all social media platforms as Enimie Oruebo. So TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, links. Yes, I think I'm also on Twitter, even though X now. Is it X? I'm hardly ever there. So yes, you should teach your children social skills. So they will say something like, making eye contact, using left hand. A lot of all those kind of things that you want to sit down, you want to ask yourself, okay, how does this amount to being rude now? How does the fact that a child uses the left hand, how does it amount to being rude? Think about it. When I teach etiquette to children, I tell them never ever use the left hand in the country like Nigeria. Never tell an adult hello or hi in a country like Nigeria. Never, I tell them these things, because there are things we call rude. But when you want to actually look at them, how is it rude, really? And Away from that, now because your child, maybe out of mistake or did not remember to greet or one day or something, and the person just said this your child is mannerless, your child is rude, as a parent, labeling, you are capitalizing on that, and you go home and that is what you are calling your child all the time. Your child is rude and all of that. See, you don't know what labeling does to our children. Let me start. First of all, labeling remove your child's authenticity. That is one of the very first things we need to do. We need to realize, what it means to be authentic? That your child is who they are, who they have been made to be. They are confident in themselves. They are confident in their strengths. They are confident in their passion. They are confident in their purpose. They are confident in who they are. They are not ashamed to be who they are. They don't deny who they are. They know who they are and they pursue who they are. That is how to be authentic. If you look at it, a lot of adults are not authentic. A lot of times we don't even know who we are. We keep struggling to find who we are. We have no idea. It is why a lot of people are not original. We are not original in our creativity. We are not original even with ourselves. I remember I have a friend. I have this friend. One time I told him that you have liked yourself so much that you now believe in yourself. He will always say, he doesn't eat much. This guy eats a lot, so he eats like, he will say, I don't know why he just, and one day I need to ask him that this is coming from a place of maybe trauma someone had, or it can just a seed being sown, a seed that was carelessly or something sown. Maybe someone just made a statement in the past that, he eats too much, in an attempt to maybe prove to the person that doesn't eat too much. I've known him for a very long time. Every time he will say, I don't eat too much. I don't eat too much. And I'll look at him that, you eat too much. You only pretend to eat a little when you have people people looking at you. When people are not looking at you, you eat. You devour mountainous food. That is just a light one, really. Very many of us are not authentic adults. We struggle to find ourselves. It's why you see some people, today they are this, tomorrow they are doing something else, next tomorrow, they have not been able to discover themselves. I was speaking at an event one day, and the other person that was speaking with me said something that it was a graduation ceremony for secondary school, and the next person said, you may not have discovered yourself now, but know that some people discover themselves when they are 50, some people discover themselves when they are 60, 70. Why is that so? When are you going to discover yourself? When you are almost gone? One of the reasons why people don't discover themselves on time is that because their authenticity was taken away from them. Their real them was taken away from them. So because of that, they never knew who they were until they finally are able to reparent themselves. They finally are able to look at themselves in the mirror and say, okay, maybe I can actually be better than I am now, or I was made for more. That is when they discover themselves. It's not supposed to be so, but it is so. Because of labeling, how we keep misdiagnosing our children, how we keep labeling them. A child who is left-handed, naturally, you want the child to be right-handed. A child who doesn't have much speed, you are forcing the child to have much speed. A child who has high energy, you don't allow the child. I see parents say something a lot of the time. Oh, actually, when I came to this place I came to, my suburb, the average parents, they want to raise something like, I want to raise an ajebo. They want to raise an ajebo child, and they feel, certain things, align the children what they want, like buying gadgets for the children, even when the children don't have the skills to navigate the distractions that come with the gadgets. Excuse me, what is it? So even when the children don't have the skills to navigate the distractions that come with the gadgets, they feel that, having their children locked inside the house and not socialize, the children cannot go from here to here. I live in a suburb. I moved from Lagos to a suburb, and I was expecting that, yes, we have a great percentage of parents whose children are, the typical rugged ones, street smart stamina. We still have some who believe that maybe they are the privileged one. They cage their children, they lock their children, they don't even allow their children mix. We'll go to church, for example, we have children's section in church. Some parents don't allow their children come to the children's department. Their children don't come to the teenage department. They don't want their children to mix with other children. Really? So you just lock your child up and you feel that is the right thing. Wait. So how would the child learn how to interact with the real world? School is very structured. We know that very many schools are structured. I remember back then in my children's school in Lagos, at some point I had to speak up that they should be allowing the children go for break, because they were not allowing them go outside to play during break. They said because when children go outside to play, they get injured, parents come and they start making so much drama. So because of that, they took break away. Please tell me, children go to school from morning, maybe they don't come back until 4. And this happens almost more than how many months? 8 months in a year. Before during the holiday, your child still comes back home. You still lock your child inside. So how is your child going to get that street smartness, that social skill? I was talking about living in a suburb. There are some children, 16, 17, they can't cross the road. It's not a busy road though. It's just a road that is not so busy, you know. Maybe it's busy on rush hours. In the mornings, you can see you have to wait for a minute or two to cross the road. But then after rush hour, maybe in the afternoon, you can even sashay on the road and no vehicle will come near you. These children, their parents will drop them in the morning. When they close from school, they will not be able to cross that road. They'll have to wait for someone to cross them, or they wait for their parents. At the end of the day, we stifle our children. Let's talk about the other one that has to do with children's careers, children's passion. You know, children are good at something. Instead of us to encourage these things, we have a particular expectation. I'm glad many parents are waking up. I always say that growing up, one of the things I used to do a lot, my distraction was writing. Oh my God, I remember when my husband's niece was living with me, then one day she saw my stack of books. I still have some of them now downstairs under my staircase. She saw a lot of books. I was writing storybooks, dramas, poems. She was asking me, Auntie, were you copying this thing? I said, so how can I just sit down and start copying all those things? I was writing them, you know. Well then, I don't blame my parents then, because nobody really noticed. Nobody had time. But times, even my elder sister, she could draw amazingly well. I have an elder sister that is supposed to be like, every day I say to her that, whoa, your creativity, your resource management ability, skills, they are top notch. Like, are you kidding me? The way she will have one dress today and tomorrow, you will see. I had one dress. She came to my house and, excuse me, she came to my house and she saw a particular dress I had. You know, she asked me to give it to her. I said, okay, I gave it to her. She was bigger than me. I was wondering, how can you take this dress that is, you are 4-5 times bigger than me? What would this dress do to you? When we went for Christmas, when she rocked that dress, you know, I was asking her to stay. Let me, because I know that I cannot enter me now. It's big. So let me snap a picture and go and make it myself. She's not a tailor. She's not a designer. But she can just sit down and create. That is a creative mind. A creative mind. If I begin to break down the amazing things she does, she is super creative. And she has the physical energy, you know, the physical energy to back up that her creativity. Someone that would have excelled in entrepreneurial, someone that would have excelled in innovation. But now, you know, in those days, you either study medicine, you study law, you study those kind of courses. Authenticity was born. So at the end of the day, when our children, when we don't understand them, we take away their authenticity, guess what? They will struggle a great deal. They will struggle so much. It is why I tell parents, find that thing that your child delights in doing encourage them, help them set goal, help them stretch themselves, stretch themselves. You can just begin to pay small attention. You will find that thing. We are getting there. We find that thing. So when you take away your child's authenticity, they are going to struggle so much. They are going to live under the shadow of other people for a long time. They are going to have low self-esteem. Because they are going to, everyone is built. Everyone is factory fit for something. Everyone is built for something. But because they have been, should I say, their brains were scattered earlier on, they don't even know themselves. They don't even understand themselves. Programming, your environment is influencing them. They are not authentic again. At the end of the day, they start copycatting. Oh, this one is doing this one. This is what everybody is doing. This is how people should behave. This is this. This is that. At the end of the day, they are just realized that they can't match the people who are originally designed to be in certain ways. They start feeling envious. Low self-esteem sets in. Threats. They start feeling threatened by other people. It is why we need to understand the children we have. It is super important to understand the children you have. When you label your child, you are helping your child form an identity. The identity, you call your child lazy. I remember one time, a parent was telling me something about what the child did. He said, my child is always looking for a shortcut out of situations. The lazy way out, a shortcut, the lazy way out. You ask him to do something, he's looking for the lazy way out. So I asked her, why are you saying it's the lazy way out? And she was giving me instances. And I said, are you kidding me? Your child is looking for easier ways to solve problems. You are calling it lazy way out. You've given your child sweep. You've told your child, okay, go and sweep. Your child went to sweep. You call it lazy way out. How did vacuum cleaner come to be? How did washing machine come to be? How did dishwasher come to be? It was because one man was looking for a lazy way out that they created those things. How did car come to be? How did airplane come to be? People were looking for lazy way out. That was how these things came to be. Your child is being innovative, and you are saying your child is looking for lazy way out. We really need to stop labeling. We need to understand our children. We need to get skills for ourselves, because if we don't get skills, we'll keep labeling our children. Anyways, it is what we are doing here, right? At the end of this class, we hope that your goal is that you are going to understand your child. So you are going to follow us week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, because every week we are going to reveal one aspect that will help you understand your child. And you can also join the challenge. We started today. It's not too late to join. You can join today. It's 10,000 naira for the challenge. You join today and you stay with us till the end of the month, where we take one aspect of our children's life and we analyze it. You understand it. Okay, let's go. So what I want to talk about now is practical ways for you to, because I've been talking about the negative effects of labeling your child, of not understanding your child, even when it comes to temperaments. We are talking about a lot of, I remember I was in a group one time, I've shared this over and over again. A parent said, oh, the child is always, because when you don't even understand your child, then you are going to use wrong approach. Yeah, before let me say this before I proceed. When you don't understand your child, you are going to use wrong approach to teaching, wrong approach to behavior modification, wrong approach to motivating, wrong approach to discipline, wrong approach for everything. When you use the wrong approach, guess what? You are going to get frustrated. When you get frustrated, there is no way. You are not going to be in check. Your emotions are going to be all over the place. At the end of the day, even if you are an intentional parent, you've told yourself, I'm not going to yell, I'm not going to nag, I am going to be patient, I'm going to understand. Because you are human beings, you will meet frustration. How about now? When you meet frustration too many times, you are bound to react. So you will not end up reacting. All those things you have said, nah, I will not do them. You see yourself doing them. You know why? Because you do not understand. So the parents shared in the group that that she has two boys. I think they are twins, or 8 or 10. I don't remember that, and they are always, according to her, they were always running about the house, doing all sorts of manners. So in the process of running about the house, they'll pull down things along the way. It was always causing issues between she and her husband, because her husband, she was I think she had to resign her job to stay at home with her children to parent. So her husband will feel she's not doing anything. How can you be at home with these children? They break this one, they spoil this one, they do this one. You are home with them, you are not doing what you are supposed to do. I've heard parents always say this. So, and someone told the woman in the group that, oh, you need to connect with your children, connect with them. Initially, I didn't want to respond to it, but somehow I just told myself, see, if I don't respond to it, this woman will go with this, and she may not get it. So I told the woman, I just entered and asked them certain questions, and I said, if these are the patterns you observe in your child, it means your children are high energy. When it comes to temperament, they may be choleric or they are sanguine. If they are choleric or they are sanguine, there is no amount of connection you will connect, especially if your child is a sanguine child. In their early age, from when they are toddlers to when they are preteens, even to the early age of teen, if you have a sanguine child, there is no amount of connection you want to connect with your child, that your child will not do the things you call misbehavior, that they will not spoil things. You know why? They have high energy. They are impulsive. Now marry these two traits together. Just sit down, do your own calculation. Someone with high energy, this person is easily distracted. Marry these three traits together, and this person is impulsive. What do you get? It means that this person is always busy. As they are doing one thing, their eyes go to another thing. So maybe because their eyes go to another thing, they are impulsive. They will not just think, okay, this thing I'm doing, let me arrange it, let me settle it before I move on. They will just carelessly move away from there, and they move to the other thing. Something will break now. So when something breaks, what happens? Somebody says connect. No. Connection. If you don't work, if you like, connect from now till their kingdom come. That is who your child is. You are only going to get frustrated when you keep connecting, and connecting is not giving you results. You believe that no wonder our parents did better, our parents didn't have to connect. You keep beating, and the beat itself will not give you results. Maybe you will now go for deliverance. Recently, a teenager was brought to me, 15-year-old. She steals and she lies a lot. That was the issue with her, and the guardian said to me that she's taken her for deliverance 3 times or so. I just smiled and I said, nah, when it comes to physical and spiritual problems, deliverance will take it off. When it comes to physical problem, as you pray to God, it's physical. So this one the child is doing is not any spiritual. So spiritual cannot take care of it. It is physical that needs to take care of it. So for that parent now, after all the beating, all the yelling, all the smacking, after all, connection did not work, then beating did not work, then she yelling, coach Ojabo is laughing. Yes, this parent even recommended a lot of books. Read this book to help you connect with your child better. Do this one. I say, but now it's not about connection. So you now take them for deliverance and everything, and if it still doesn't work, you say it's your village people, your wife's village people, your husband's village people. So you need to understand your child. You need to get knowledge for yourself. You need to seek knowledge for yourself. You need to make the sacrifice. You need to make the sacrifice. See, he that will find a way. He that will not, we find an excuse. Whatever you set your mind to, you will do it. I hear people say, oh, I would have loved to be in this academy. The money is too much. You don't have to be in the Visionary Parent Academy. There are so many parenting academy you can join. There are some that you can even join to pay 1,000 naira a month. Even though I can't vouch for them, because someone said she was in the Visionary Parent Academy in the other year, 2023. So I think then it was 24,000 naira. So by 2024 it was 48,000 naira. She felt it was too much. She now joined another academy that was, I think, 2,000 naira monthly. So so by the time, if the academy was not even done when she came to ask, she wants to join the Visionary Parent Academy, because that academy was just like, she didn't understand what was going on there. It was almost like they were just going there to, she wasn't sure what they were going there to do. So But what I'm trying to tell you that it's better for you to register in an academy so that you can ask questions, you can get personalized responses, you can reach the coach privately, you can get responses that you want. Something you have committed your money to. You committed your money because you want results, and committing your money will even make you want to like take action, will make you want to like, okay, ask questions, at least let my money work for me. So when people say, oh, I don't have money, I said to them, you have not made up your mind to. You have not set your mind on, because when you set your mind on it, you are going to be able to achieve it. I know that for a fact. It's what we teach children. When you set your mind to behave better, you can behave better. When you set your mind to have better grades, you will have better grades. When you set your mind to stop a particular habit, you will stop it. You just need that will. Set your mind to it. The same thing as parents. If you set your mind to register in an academy, you will register in an academy. If you set your mind to take a course for you or your child, you will take it. You just have not set your mind to it. So I said to parents, please go take a course, read books. We have this channel has a lot of videos. Learn for yourself. Learn, get skills, because when you don't get skills, you are going to mislabel your child. And when you have mislabeled your child, it's like you are telling, okay, I was sharing the academy, I made a post the other day that I had I always had pains in my body. And so when I went to meet a doctor, that was back then in Lagos, the doctor told me, okay, it was XYZ, I ran some tests and all of that. I even had to go to a lot of tests that I had to pay a lot of money. And they said maybe I had calorie issue, I had fats in the wrong place, a lot of things. I'm like, doctor, I'm not a fat person. See how tiny I am. Where will this camera is making me, is exaggerating my size. Check me out on Facebook, you see that I'm not a big person. You say, where will I get fat? You say, no, it's not about that. He explained to me. I said, okay, it's fine. After all this, he gave me a lifestyle. Did it work? Temporarily. Until I sought a second opinion and I realized, what he told me was not even it at all. It was a different ballgame entirely. Now, because of what he told me, we're treating based on that, and we're not getting. I have a friend. The father has lost his sight because of misdiagnosis. The father was misdiagnosed and the doctor operated. At the end of the day, they went to be removing what was not there. That was that the father lost his sight. The same thing happens to your child. When you have told yourself, oh, your child is this, you are going to be dealing with that particular thing you have said your child is. But that thing may not be the issue at the end of the day. We've talked about where our labeling comes from. We've talked about how we're raised, programming, societal expectations, everything. We've talked about it. So you want to begin to sit down and begin to examine. We did this in the Becoming an Emotionally Intelligent Parent class, where you sit down, you examine your perception, your mindset, your thought patterns towards your child. You examine them, not necessarily towards your child, towards behavior generally. You examine them. When you examine them, you want to ask yourself, is it valid really? Or you are just, is it valid? Is there an emergency in this? Is there a truth in this? Let's start from that. Is there an emergency in this? Then to help you reframe your thoughts. The same thing I'm telling you today. You want to start by sitting down and and examine all the labels you've given your child. Look at them very well. Like, okay, I've called my child lazy. Why did I call it lazy? Is it really lazy? Like the parent that said to me that the child is looking for a lazy way out, because she felt the child was looking for a lazy way out. Each time the child tries to do something, what will she do? Oh, she'll react. She'll be angry. She'll react. She'll be angry. Now, imagine if she sees the child as, okay, my child is being creative. My child is looking for a creative way out. What do you think? Should we encourage the child? Should we ask the child, how did you do that today? Wow, that's a thoughtful one though. Really? Oh, okay. Let's see, can you apply this same method to this? Okay, she'll be able to help the child. But because she thinks that, or rather she thought the child was looking for an easy way out, a lazy way out, using her term, what will she do? When the child tries to be creative, she will beat the child. She will yell. She will smack. At the end of the day, you see that child's strength at being creative. What will she do? How about now? You have beaten it, and force the child to be what the child is not. It will become weak. I know some people, they don't have this perseverance. So if your child doesn't have perseverance, it's possible your child will not have perseverance in their strengths. They will not have perseverance in their spirits. They will not have perseverance in their character. Small discouragement like this, they have dropped that thing. Now, instead of them to be true to themselves, now you have labeled them. They will dance to your labeling. It is why you must understand your child and drop the labeling. Okay, let's go. So now we are going to look at one of the things we want to do today is to help us understand our children. We want to look at how do you understand your child to label them correctly. How do you understand your child to label them correctly? One of the very things you do, I said it the other time, I think in my last video, that when we talk about a lot of things, it is not just for one particular purpose. When you say give your children chores, it's not just for a particular purpose. It's not just because you want to raise independent children. When we say when siblings rival, don't jump in to settle them. It's not because of that. It's not only because you want to promote peace or you want to show that you don't have a favorite. No, it is a lot more. Now one of the first things you want to do is look at how your children react to issues. How they react to issues. So this is why you don't always jump in. Your children are rivaling each other. You don't jump in. Why don't you jump in? You want to know how they resolve conflicts generally. Okay, are they the ones that, because they want peace, I want peace, so they would not be able to stand up for themselves because they want peace, they will not be able to stand up for themselves? Are they the ones that they are so close-minded, they are so opinionated? That's what I'm looking for. Their opinion is their opinion. They are not waiting at all to understand, to listen. They want what they want. They are not waiting at all to listen. You want to understand that. You want to dare to give your child task. You give them tasks. Are they risk takers? Are they the typical conformist children? The ones you say do this, they will do this. The ones you say sit, they will sit. Or the ones that are creative, they're innovative, they find a way. There was a video that is trending. I shared the video yesterday that a girl, she tried to surprise. I want to believe it was scripted. I believe it's scripted because, a lot of people, they want to do a lot of things to go viral. That is it. So I believe that the video is super scripted. The woman wanted to get reactions viral, at least to get people to her page. And I'm very certain she succeeded in doing that, because the way, even though it looks so real, it was scripted. I believe that. But why would she post it on Facebook after saying those hurtful things, unreasonable things to her child? It's not as if somebody was watching her and posting her on Facebook. She now used her hand to post it on Facebook again. No, except maybe it was a child. Why would she even record it? So it definitely was scripted. Now let's assume that it was not scripted. A child wanted to surprise you on Mother's Day, and the child went ahead to according to the video, she told the child not to boil the yam, not to fry the yam, that she wanted roasted yam. So the child went ahead to fry the yam. Now the child, what her thinking cap, she wanted the mom to see the yam as roasted. So when she fried the yams, she allowed them to burn. Roasted yam burn. She allowed the yam to burn. That is, should I say, ingenuity? What? That was smart thinking. And another thing I saw about the child is the child knows how to play her way, even though she did not succeed with her mom. Because if you watch the video, you see the way the child was pretending to be crying. When the mom was down on nagging, she pretended to be crying. Meanwhile, when she knelt down, her eyes were as tearless as possible as it can be. So which means the child She has a degree in probably manipulation or something. You know, when children do things, you observe them. But unfortunately, because we are not emotionally intelligent, because everything to us is an emergency, it has to be now, now, now. When it is now, 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 you are not able to see what you are supposed to see. So the one of the ways you want to understand your child, firstly, is for you to realize that nothing is an emergency. The visionary parent know that it is they know that it's one of our mottos, one of our slogans. It is not an emergency, no matter what. It is not only when you are angry at your child that it is not an emergency. Every single time, it's not an emergency. Now, my older son, my 13-year-old, always says, oh, he wants to be a footballer, While I am not trying to discourage him, because I've told him he can be a footballer, he can be anything he wants to be. It's even because of all those their passions and interests. I was telling my husband that, we'll not stay in this suburb for a long time because it's too small for my children to discover themselves. They have a lot of things they want to do. You know, I was one that decided that I sat down one day, okay, I want to move to this suburb. I came here, I realized that they don't have many opportunities to actually to explore, but I just want to give them a short time to just learn this street stamina, you know, all this kind of street life from the suburb. After that, God helping us, we move back to a major city. So he wants to play football, it is good and fine. But there's something I noticed, that like I was telling him, that he is going to do well when it comes to creative. Thank God he can draw. But when it comes to just performing arts generally, I feel he is going to do well, because I've noticed the patterns. That's where the second place I'm going to. Be emotionally intelligent. It is not an emergency. Always learn to pause and understand. Pause and observe. Don't conclude. Don't label. Note your patterns and be able to connect them. When we take pictures, for example, ordinary picture, the way he poses in the picture, like my 8-year-old will always look at him to learn how to pose. You know, my 13 years old, from when he was small, when he was the only child then, you know, he already knew how to do some kind of things, you know, how to just be funny. I remember I shared this in Understanding Your Child, my book Understanding Your Child, how we went to a school one time, how he just took the stage, and he was making people laugh and all of that. He has a passion to bring to make people happy. I remember when he just moved to this school, his goal was wanted everybody to be happy at the same time in the class, just a merry class, everybody happy. So every time he was very frustrated, you know, they were not welcoming him like that. You know, people were always bickering. He didn't want that. He just wanted the class to be always happy. Funny enough, he's not sanguine. He wants the class to always be happy. Everybody should be happy and all of that. Where is that taken to? It simply means that someone who may have something to do with performing arts, to do with entertainment. Even ordinary pictures he takes, you will see he will strike a very beautiful pose, you know, and you'll be wondering, who taught this boy how to pose and all of that? They just come naturally, but he is not seeing it. So what I'm trying to do is, while he explores his own interest, his football is his interest, of course he loves to draw. His nickname should be Joy. Oh, thank you, ma. His nickname should be Joy. Yes, maybe we should consider that, you know. Why he loves to draw, and even in his drawing, when back in Lagos, I had to hire an artist for him. I was paying the man as much as 30,000 naira monthly for how many times? I think only weekends, twice a week, to teach him how to draw human face, human beings, and all of that. The man taught him for 3 months until we moved. He still did not get it. But when he comes to any character, if I buy exercise book now, because of him, the other time I wanted to buy exercise book, I bought the ones that have cartoon characters, because as soon as he's seen them, he's drawing them. He will not even, as soon as he just takes it, if he sees if he wants to buy a shirt, He's looking for a shirt that has cartoon character, not really because he likes the character he wants to wear, because he wants to draw them. Oh, all the shirts he has that has all the shirts his younger brother has that has car, because he is grown now, so he's not really like, he's 13 now, he's not really like as attracted to those characters as he used to. But his younger brothers, of course, 8 years younger brother, still chooses those ones. All the shirts he has drawn them, so you can see where his mind is going to. His mind is going to form everything. Has to be fun for him, you know. So authentically, he may be someone whose calling will be in that form. So how did I discover this? I watch out for patterns. I just told you what he likes to draw. Yes, and because he likes to draw, I'm not stopping him from drawing. The only thing we need to do is just to create a structure. A structure. You read your book. You cannot be reading your book and be drawing now. It's not possible. We can be teaching and we are drawing. That's fine. You know, it helps you understand. But you cannot be reading and drawing. So we have time to read. Why will I stop the drawing, for example? We have a structure. I tell him drawing is fun. You can use your playtime or any time to draw. That is fine. You are finished doing your revision. You finish doing your self-development. You can draw. That is fine. I paid attention to that. What he does with his books. You know, what interests him. I saw that. You know, what he wants to do quickly. Even back then, I think I've shared this on my post a long time ago. If we are doing something now, maybe we are, let's say we are doing something together. I remember one time we were doing, we were recycling crafts back then in Lagos. So we got these bottles and all of that, we were recycling. While the sister and I were doing it, then I think I've not had my baby, or my baby was just small then. While the sister and I were doing it very well, what was he doing? He was looking for a way to fit them together, to create something fun and interesting for his own pleasure only, because me, I was focused, I was work oriented. You know, I was focused on what we're doing. So those patterns, you begin to look at them. But what a typical parent will do is, instead of you to look at those patterns, you call your child time waster, you call your child useless, you call your child lazy, you call your child is always looking for the easy way out. You could not look for patterns that will help you understand this child. Because the truth of the matter is, very many people may not even understand themselves for a while. But once you help your child to be authentic, it becomes easy for them to understand themselves. So you have to be emotionally intelligent. Everything is not reaction. It's not fight. It's not fight. Even if you set rules, your child breaks your rules, your child comes back. My husband is always saying that my daughter will make a good lawyer. Because you cannot pay attention. You cannot pay attention to patterns if you are always dramatic. Every single thing. She will not just take yes like that. She will not take sit down, then she will sit down. She wants to know why. You know, she wants to experiment. So you look for patterns. And you cannot look for patterns if you are not emotionally intelligent. And one thing I would give you here to take home with you, if you are not in the Visionary Parents Academy, is note that it is not an emergency. No matter the situation, it is not only when you are angry that it's not an emergency. No. Your child is coming to tell you something, it's not an emergency. You listen. If you don't have the answer to the question, it is not an emergency. One of the things I do for with my children is, they come to ask. Yesterday my son was reading, my 8-year-old was reading, I was asking, Mommy, what's the meaning of misdemeanor? The dictionary is there. I'm not in a hurry to answer him. It is not an emergency. Today, my son was asking me, Mommy, what is the meaning of Baba's chair and pendulum? It is not an I will not just answer them. I'm not such in a terrible hurry. Of course, before I answer you, you have to exercise. You know, when you are struggling with it, I will come and answer you. Your child tells you, oh, Mommy, what is this? What is menstrual cycle? It is not an emergency. You don't have the answer right there. What do? You come back and answer it. It is never an emergency. They come to tell you in school, oh, their friends did this to them in school, something happened. It is not an emergency. That moment, you are not, the moment it happens, except it's already a pattern, something you have done over and over again. So it has become your second nature. If it is not your second nature, then you may not have the answers right there. You will need time to assimilate, to process. So it is never an emergency. So when you see your child behaving, it is never an emergency. Don't jump to conclude you are being lazy. No, it may not be lazy. It's just somehow. You see children, I see children, you tell them that, see, you are going to be good in this field because you have observed patterns. You have observed patterns. I've told children before that you are going to make a good civil. I have a friend. I said you are going to make a good civil servant because of the pattern I observe. I have someone and he is not a starter. He is not a self-starter. So one day I told him that, see, you need to start looking for ministry work, you know, because as Nigeria is now, hustling, and if you are not a self-starter, hustling may not be your thing. So emotional intelligence with emphasis, that's the foundation. Of course, if you are not emotionally intelligent, you are just on your own. You are just going to ruin everything. You will not take your time to answer. You will not take your time to understand your child. Your child may be doing something, pointing you. Because one of the things I say to parents in the Visionary Parents Academy is that everything about parenting is a win. Everything about your child's behavior is a win. Is a win. Your child misbehaves, is a win. You know that, okay, my child is doing this. Maybe they don't have the skills yet. Maybe it points you to something that is wrong. They don't have the skills. They have not learned. Someone is teaching them something. You need to find out what is it. Or you are even the one modeling it. You need to find out what it is. Just some time ago, last year, I was telling myself that my daughter is always labeling the siblings. I don't like it. She would not like labeling. She will always say something like, you are always doing this. And I said to myself, it's not supposed to be about them. I want her to rephrase it in the way that it is, I don't like this, and not you are always doing this. I sat down, I was asking myself, I was looking at, okay, because you know you have children. As they grow older, when we say that children learn from you, yes, a time will come, children, first of all, children learn at different levels. A time will come when these children will begin to identify with themselves. They will not necessarily be learning from you again. You know, they will learn from the environment. They will do what they want to do, not necessarily you. So when they are still small, you want to be watchful. So I sat down and was asking myself, okay, where did she learn this thing from? That she's always. I realized that even though I was doing it, even though I was trying not to do it, but I still tell myself that I still see myself doing it. So I realized that now, this was what I was trying to say. Yes, even though I have other children, they don't say that. They use the word, I don't like you, like this, I don't like this. Because my daughter is someone that, how do I put it? You know, there are people that they don't want to take responsibility. A lot of things you need to look, patterns you need to watch out for. Someone that is quick to say, it's not me, it's someone else, you know. It's not because they want to lie, because they just don't want to take responsibility, because they have set a certain standard that they want to fit in. That is why she will say, you are always doing this. I had to realize, oh, I'm a major influence. I have to start rephrasing my words. Okay, sorry, someone said something. I will even ask, what do you think about this question? Absolutely, ma. Yes, you give them back the question. You throw it back to them. You help them develop their critical thinking skills. Like when my son said, Mommy, what is Baba's chair? He actually said, what is Baba's chair? Baba's chair. Because the teacher said it and he didn't hear it very well. He said this person was really like Baba's chair. And I said, okay, what do you mean? Even though I knew exactly what he said already. I told him Baba's chair. He said, no, Baba's chair. I said, okay, go on. What was the context of the usage? He said, the teacher said, the teacher is always describing a particular boy. He would describe the boy with pendulum and then Baba's chair. I said, okay, it's actually Baba's chair. So what do you understand from Baba's chair? He said, oh, okay, Baba's chair, that is always. I said, that is it. That is exactly what it means. So you check a pendulum and know exactly what it means. You throw it back to them. Most times they know the answer before asking. They want to confirm. Absolutely. Yes, she's using the superlative always. It is you and it is trying not to dodge responsibility. So I realized that I was also saying to them that you are always. I had to stop it immediately. In fact, I had to rephrase rephrase my words all the time. I don't like it became because when you are telling them you are labeling them. You are always, it means it is you now. You are label. If I do not like it, then they know, okay, it is not me. It is about so it is about you. And because you have taught them a lot of things, then it's easy for them to want to adjust. So if to understand your child, the very first thing you need to do is to be emotionally intelligent. Yes, be emotionally intelligent. You cannot succeed in your parenting, intentional parenting, without being emotionally intelligent. It's not possible. They are Siamese twins, conjoined twins. They are joined together. Maybe Ben Carson will help you separate them. Dr. Ben Carson will help you separate them. So you need to be emotionally intelligent, and then you need to pay attention to patterns. When your child does one thing, don't take it and don't treat it in isolation. No, don't treat things in isolation. Always try to understand the root cause. Always try to understand things around it. For example, you have a child like my daughter. I remember one time I went to a shop when I just moved here. So I saw a fancy dress. I was admiring the dress. So the woman was telling me, but I said no. She said, why? Is it because of the price? I said, even if I buy, even if you give me this shirt now, I will tell you no, thank you, because my daughter will not wear. And she was all like, your child will not wear a shirt you are buying. What kind of thing is that? You know, she was just on her own. Her children will never, ever say no to the shirt they buy. For what? I didn't have the strength to argue. Besides, like I shared in the Visionary Parent Academy this morning, you don't just start arguing. You are going to come back and think. You see the person, when the person is probably more open to learning, before you teach them or you try to impact, because that time they're arguing, they want to win the argument, so nothing you say will enter their head. Like so now my daughter, I don't buy ball dresses for her again, no matter how much she likes it. When she grown, she can start buying it, or her dad buys for her. But me, I will not go and buy this flowing dress for her. Nah, she will not like it. She will not wear. She'll come with the excuse, it's itching, it itches, it touches here, where the lining stop, the other thing is touching the edge, this one is that one is that. That is someone who is sensitive. Then when it comes to food now, she doesn't like to eat eba. Nah, because she says eba, the texture of eba is not smooth. So now if you are paying attention to this pattern, you will realize that when your child says she's not going to eat, it's not because your child lacks contentment. It's just because of. So when your child says he's not going to wear a particular dress, it's not because your child is being stubborn. It's because of something. There are things you are not comfortable with. It's because of that thing in her. Like I said, you will now realize that it is the issue of adaptability, the issue of flexibility. That is what you want to focus on. So you want to pay attention to pattern. Pay attention to pattern. Drop the labeling. Pay attention to pattern. Look at that. Is why you need skills. You must get skills. You must learn it. If you don't get skills, you will not even be able. You will not be able to understand how one pattern is connected to another pattern. Like I said at the beginning of this class, maybe as we progress in this class, I was talking about why a typical sanguine child will be high in energy and with likely going to spoil things. I described it. Naturally, they are very distractive. Easily distracted, rather. They're easily distracted. They are very impulsive. Young children are impulsive. Young children don't have long attention span. Now, at this age, to the temperament, even an adult sanguine is easily distracted. Many of them don't hold interest for a long time. It is because adults are now grown, they now have this self-motivation. It is why they hold interest. They can take a job for a long time. Ordinarily, sanguine, they don't hold interest for a long time. They are easily distracted, they are impulsive, and they have high energy. Now look at a child. Naturally, children are energetic. Naturally, children don't hold interest for long. Naturally, children are impulsive. And now, you combine the age, the temperament. You now marry all of them together. You now have a child who is spoiling things. You don't know you should structure your home. You don't know that